Hey Leo, we're going to be doing your reading, so we're going to get right into it and see what is going on for you guys. Leo, this reading's timeless, but today is December 9th, in case you're wondering. All right. Yes, the 9th. Okay. Aries. What? Leo. Leo. Oh yeah, I didn't tell Aries, so. Whoops. All right. Let's see, Leo, what's going on? The reverse page of swords. Okay, so maybe not super interested in something, or there's maybe something, or you're really interested in something, okay? Maybe you're interested in something like very much so, or something that's like piqued your interest, or you overheard something. Let's see what the heck's going on here. All right, okay. I also understand some, like maybe feeling like, I don't know. I kind of do understand like overhearing something or something like that. So, all right, let's see what's going on. All right. I definitely keep wanting to call you Aries. Maybe you are dealing with an Aries, okay? Certainly could be. So let's see what's up. Or someone's like, you didn't hear me the first time. I don't know. Let's see. So you guys have the reverse Two of Cups, and this is showing up for your energy, your current energy anyway. So maybe there's a little bit of a disagreement for some of you guys. This could even be possibly, maybe there was something you were kind of like, curious about. And I wonder if there's maybe this sense of like, well, there's no more curiosity, or I know everything I need to know, something like that. Or this could also be maybe a situation where you're maybe coming apart with somebody here, okay? Maybe like a breakup of some sort, all right? That kind of thing. That could certainly be something that's going on. I also kind of understand maybe somebody like focusing on the details of something. I'm getting something about like maybe needing to go like deeper into something, like an emotional depth of something, as opposed to something being surface level, all right, that kind of stuff. So let's see what's going on. All right, well, in your environment, you guys have the Seven of Swords. So I don't know that I love that with the reverse Two of Cups and then the Seven of Swords, okay, in your environment. For some of you guys, maybe there's a situation or maybe a person in your environment who's like not being like honest about something, or maybe this is somebody who this is somebody who either needs a certain level of like a particular intervention or a certain strategy, something about that in place, or this is a situation where I wonder if you're even questioning, should I escape this thing, or how do I get out of this, okay? I'm wondering if you're just like not really feeling whatever's going on, or you have, or somebody has made you question a relationship or something, okay? Maybe even made you question the way it is that you trust yourself, okay? That kind of stuff. All right, let's see. All right, so for your challenge, you guys have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius, and then you have it with this King of Swords reverse. So there is definitely dishonesty going on with whatever this is, okay? There's either dishonesty, or there's something about having a hard time organizing your speech or your like what it is that you want to say. It's almost like knowing a whole lot of things, but then when it gets time to be like, okay, I'm going to present this, or now I'm going to like, I want somebody else to kind of understand what I'm saying, that kind of stuff. I feel like there's maybe like a challenge in that in some capacity, that kind of stuff, okay? I will also say that there might be a situation where the challenge is maybe some news got brought to you or something like that, and you might just be like not loving that. You know what I'm saying? There might be something that you're like, I don't like that, or that doesn't, I don't want to bring love into the situation. Some of you guys, I got to tell you, maybe it could be, Leo, that you're just like not even looking for love right now. You could be like, yeah, that's like the furthest thing on my mind, but it might just like stumble upon your path somehow, that kind of stuff. So, I also understand maybe somebody who you're with, they don't understand everything that's going on, okay? Or I don't know, there's definitely something. I don't know if somebody took something the wrong way, or this is like a disagreement, whatever the heck it is. I definitely understand something about either someone's gone like non-contact with you, that kind of stuff, or there has just been like no communications, something like that, or just a complete like inaccuracy, like that's false, that's not true, something like that, all right? If that is the case, then maybe something in your environment is trying to like bring that truth to you, okay? Or find I almost want to say find a way out of something. So this is a little sketchy here, Leo. So let's see what else. All right. So for your opportunity, you guys have full moon in Sagittarius, see the bigger picture. And then you have it with the reverse Four of Swords here. Reverse Four of Swords. Why do I feel like something might be easier than you're thinking here, okay? Or that something might work out like a lot better than you're maybe anticipating, something like that. I also maybe understand something about coming apart with something here, and the opportunity might be like, hey, this time it's easier. This time you don't have to maybe work so hard, or, you know, something about that. I also feel like if there's been a situation here where you've been like really friggin' avoiding like taking a break on something, or like, you know, just, I don't know, avoiding giving yourself some time to like chill out, that kind of stuff, maybe like always being on the go, that kind of thing, then I wonder if part of your opportunity is maybe to kind of see like, all right, in the grand scheme of things, like, do I need to be like, you know, I'm always on the go, or is it better in the grand scheme of things to kind of like give myself a little bit of a break, that kind of stuff, okay? There's I want to say there's like a surprise, or there's some like the way something is going to work out or turn out is definitely better than I think what you're currently feeling, okay, that kind of stuff. It might even be like coming apart from one thing is actually like making whatever the next thing is here like even more accessible or better, or again, I don't know, something that you don't have to like hope and pray for. It's just like, no, this is working out. Like there's things that are kind of like in motion here, that kind of stuff. So all right, let's see let's see what else is going on here, Leo. All right. I also wonder, Leo, if you are somebody who is able to like just kind of get into something where maybe other people might have to like really kind of like get themselves ready, or I don't know, like have this like whole routine before they like get into something. And I wonder if you're just like, no, I can just kind of like do this. Like I can just like go into something with like a certain level of confidence, that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So, okay. I would also say maybe not waiting for something. Okay, maybe not waiting for something, like like people say like stop and wait approach sometimes. I got to tell you, I'm not thrilled about that approach, depending on what we're talking about, but typically I don't really like that type of stuff. So all right, let's see what's going on, Leo. King of Wands just came out. I'm taking that for like your energy here. So all right, let's see what's up, Leo. All right, the Ace of Pentacles is at the bottom. So there is some type of opportunity or something that I guess is gonna, well, I don't guess, I kind of feel like it's gonna take a good amount of work here, or maybe time, effort, that kind of stuff. So all right, let's see. Maybe finances. So with the reverse Two of Cups, you guys have the King of Wands here in the past energy. So yeah, there was this energy in the past of you guys being like, yep, that's exactly what I want. I'm going for it, that kind of stuff. I almost want to say having a one-track mind about something, that kind of situation. And I do think that there was maybe something that was gaining momentum, or that you were like extremely passionate about, that kind of stuff. I just said one-track mind, but at the same time, I almost feel like it's like, yeah, but there's other responsibilities, or there's other things going on, but I feel like maybe there is something that you were focusing just on one thing, that kind of stuff, okay? Whatever it is here, right? Maybe even protecting something in some sense. But in the current energy with this Two of Cups, again, it feels like maybe there's been like a breakdown in a partnership, or that maybe you and somebody else have just like grown apart, or there's like you're not, you see things differently, or you have like a different way of, I don't know, life or living or whatever the heck it is, that kind of stuff. And I do feel like there was something where it's like, okay, all the confidence in the world, like I'm excited, I'm doing this, I'm going for it, that kind of stuff. All right. I even wonder if you had like this big grand vision, a grand vision, seeing the big picture, that kind of stuff. And now it feels like, again, coming apart with that, or there was like a disagreement, or I don't know, some type of falling out of some sort. So, all right. So with the Seven of Swords, you guys have the Knight of Cups, and this is showing up for your environment. So, it feels like maybe there was some type of like heartfelt message offered, or maybe just, I kind of want to say that a heartfelt message offered, or maybe something that was like deeply like intuitively based, or you know, maybe even a romanticized version of something, that kind of stuff. And this current energy, it's like it's almost trying to figure out if somebody is serious or somebody is lying, or if somebody like has like I want to say if they're in it for the long haul, or if they're just like, oh, I'm just going to kind of like ditch this thing and like, you know, whatever, that kind of stuff. All right. That is what I'm understanding. I also wonder if maybe there was a situation, there might be a situation around you where maybe somebody else is bringing their heart, you know, or flirting, whatever the heck it is, to somebody who is like definitely not like their counterpart, you know, like flirting with somebody who like they're not supposed to, or, you know, that kind of stuff. That could certainly be something that's going on around you. I wonder if you're picking up that energy and internalizing it for yourself. Okay. That's a thing. So, all right. There seems to be a good amount of like, I want to say like breaking up energy, that kind of stuff. And then maybe like trying to figure out what's going on, or covering something up with a lie, or deleting something, or I don't know, something like that. Okay. Definitely understand that. I do think it has to do with like love, that kind of thing. All right. Something that you love, or a person that you are in a relationship with, something like that. Okay. Maybe for some of you guys, this is, like a creative thing, or like a side project, a passion project, that kind of stuff. All right, so with this bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius, you have the Three of Cups, and then you also have it with the reverse King of Swords. So I feel like this is the challenge, because I think something in the past, I think there was maybe, I want to say, too many cooks in the kitchen, that kind of situation, or there was maybe something was celebrated prematurely. Okay, that could also be it. But I feel like this is either like, I don't know, some inaccuracy, or somebody who is not telling the truth about something. You know what this almost feels like? I was at this party, or I was with these people, but I didn't tell you. I was, you know what I'm saying? Being like, oh, I said I was here, but I was actually here, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so Leo, I do understand that energy here. You know, I will also say it certainly could be, you know, veering away from like the romantic kind of like love-based reading. This could be also the energy of maybe being challenged by possibly feeling like, okay, I'm in a group of people, or I'm supposed to be like celebrating something, or this is like, you know, a group of friends, whatever the heck it is. And it could be that you're feeling maybe like, I don't know how to speak up on this particular thing, or I feel like I don't have enough of the facts, or I don't know enough of like the backstory, or whatever the heck it is, or having a hard time figuring out something, that kind of stuff. Okay, certainly could be. It feels like there's something that's like calculated, or being like, I want to say like classified. I swear to God, I feel like I said that in a reading. I don't know when it was. That was on the other channel that I deleted that one. There's a lot of different reasons why, but anyway, it's okay. Now we're here. So, all right, let's see. I also feel like this is maybe somebody who's closed off to a particular person in a group of friends. You know what I'm saying? It could be that maybe there's like, okay, that person, like, I don't know, that person's getting the story wrong, or I don't know, something like that, or that person's like not telling the truth, whatever the heck it is, something like that. So, all right, you have the Queen of Wands, and then you have it with the Two of Cups here, and this is showing up as like what to do and what that energy is going to bring in. So, I mean, you know, you have the King of Wands here in the past energy. Now you guys have the Queen of Wands here. So I feel like there is definitely something about like either restarting what it is that you were working on in the first place here, or this is maybe just doing something that is like going to make you feel like I'm confident, or just going for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need to know everything, because we're not walking computers, you know? Some people are. That's friggin' awesome, but I'm certainly not. And, you know, maybe you are. That's cool. But, you know what I'm saying? We're not expected to know everything, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And so that might be part of like the energy here, is just that like realization of like, hey, you don't have to like be hypercritical of yourself, or you don't have to be like kind of like super aware of everything that you're doing, or how you're looking, or whatever the heck it is, that kind of stuff. Okay. I'm even understanding something about like wanting to make somebody like jealous about something, that kind of stuff. I mean, listen, do whatever the heck you want, but you know, I don't know. There could be something about that. So, all right, you guys have the Two of Cups, and that's what this Queen of Wands is bringing in. So what I'm understanding here is being completely yourself, even if like some other person is like, oh, like, I would be so embarrassed if I did that, or whatever the heck it is, that kind of stuff. I feel like being yourself, showing up, maybe even cheering like yourself on or cheering somebody on, whatever the heck it is, that kind of stuff. I feel like that's bringing in either a point of interest or a point of commonality where maybe you and somebody else can kind of like meet in the middle there and be like, okay, we have this thing in common, or we both feel this way, or hey, we both like this particular thing that maybe not everybody is, I almost want to like obsessed with, that kind of stuff, or, that not everybody would be like, oh yeah, like that's, I want to do that, or whatever the heck it is here. There's something about like coming together with maybe even yourself. Maybe this is like, getting back into the groove of like your own self. What I will say is, this card here, bring love into the situation. It is definitely my opinion that you need to love yourself first before you can like love other people. And also that is not something that you're just like brought to the world doing, to know how to love somebody else. You need to be taught how there should, or what should there be? I don't know. I'm not like the rule on like anything really, but to have like a model to kind of like show that to you, or kind of like explore, like, you can, I feel like this should not be this complicated to explain, and I gotta tell you, I feel like that's part of whatever's going on here. It's like something is complicated to explain. This might be the challenge. Maybe there's a relationship that it's like, this is complicated, that kind of stuff, okay? Or I don't know, something like that. But I just feel like it's like, do the thing that feels right for you. Follow your like own instincts. Do the thing that is making you feel like, I can do this. I wanna do this. Here I am. It's like your energy when you walk into the room. There's something that's like magnetic, or you're going to like attract the people or situations, whatever it is that you're wanting to, because you're showing up in like an authentic way. And it's kind of like a no apologies, like here I am, like that, that kind of thing, like take it or leave it type of energy, which I find to be super empowering. Okay. That kind of stuff, especially because it does feel like there's been some like, I don't know, sketchiness, shadiness, that kind of stuff rolling around. So, all right. Okay, so you have the reverse Three of Swords, and this is showing up as what to avoid. So, I would avoid trying to heal somebody else's own situation, okay? Like whether this is taking on guilt from somebody else that you just do not need that anymore, that kind of stuff, that could certainly be it. But I also feel like this is maybe an avoidance of maybe returning back to a particular situation, all right? That kind of stuff. Why do I feel like I almost feel like if somebody was going to be like, hey, I'm sorry about that, I almost feel like you have the choice to, well, of course you do, but you have the choice to be like, okay, I'm either going to accept that apology or I'm just not going to. Maybe that's what needs to be voiced, or not, that's what needs to be like expressed in some sense, all right? Something like that. All right. I also feel like there maybe is something that you do not have to do by yourself, okay? Or keeping something, I don't know, keeping something separate in some sense. I don't know. Let's see what else is going on. So with the Four of Swords, so anyway, this is for your opportunity here. So again, you have full moon and Sag, see the bigger picture, all right? And then you have it with this Four of Swords reversed and the Hierophant. So I feel like in the past there was some commitment made, okay? Something like that, yeah, some type of commitment, or maybe this is even feeling like, okay, I'm getting into the swing of things. I'm initiated into this thing. Like I feel like I am maybe even basing something off of like your moral compass, that kind of stuff. All right, that type of situation. But I feel like this is like you were granted access to like get into the door, like kind of like get into something, that kind of stuff. I feel like your opportunity now is, again, you're not going to have to work so hard at something, or you're not going to have to like leave something up to like, okay, I hope this works, or like, something like that. All right. It feels like, again, you have like a strong foundation of something, or a strong like base layer of something here, that kind of stuff. I think it's just more so like communicating in maybe a group setting, that kind of stuff. That is not easy, okay? It just is not. I don't know how else to explain to somebody who doesn't like get that like instant panic of having to talk in front of people. I don't know how to explain it. It's I don't know. It feels like you want to say something and it's just stuck. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's been my experience. So like maybe that's something that you guys have also kind of like felt, or maybe you're dealing with somebody who's kind of like experiencing that kind of stuff, that kind of thing. All right. I also want to say that maybe your opportunity here also has something to do with just like expanded thinking, okay? That kind of stuff. Like to me, this feels like, this is going to sound strange, but this to me almost feels like broadening your horizon with like different like religions or different like ways of like life or I don't know, something like that. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. Why do I want to say there might be a particular person that you might really want to give space right now? Okay, give them some space, that kind of stuff. All right, there might be something about that here. Maybe in order to kind of like see like that like grand picture, seeing like, you know, the zoomed out type of situation, that kind of stuff. All right. Okay, so let's see. You guys have the Sun card, and then you have it with the Ten of Swords here. Super interesting. Again, showing up for your opportunity here. So it feels like, I do think there's an energy of allowing yourself to like be seen, have attention on you in some sense is kind of like the name of the game here, that kind of thing. And I feel like, maybe even seeing the good in something or really like, like making a conscious effort to see the good in something, or to maybe only show what it is that you want to show, or, you know, that kind of stuff. Okay. That could be part of whatever this is here. I feel like some of this is healing something from your past, or there's some type of energy there, okay? Something from the past, but maybe showcasing it now or bringing it up now, whatever it is, you know, that kind of stuff. All right. I also want to say like finding strength wherever it is that you find strength from. Like, you know, we all like, you know, when people are like, give me strength, like it's almost like that. That's almost like kind of what I'm feeling. This Ten of Swords here, whatever this is, this feels like it's either like a finalization or it's doing something, like maybe redoing something, but doing it the way that you would want it, like completed or finished. Okay. That kind of stuff. Maybe not really taking a, what do they call that? Like a compromise, you know, that kind of stuff. That energy kind of popped up in Aries reading a little bit. So there is something regarding that. I'm also getting like passing the torch, or understanding when it's like somebody else's turn to do something. I don't know, something like that. So you have, this is interesting. You have the Sun card, Ten of Swords, and the Moon card. So I'm almost a little surprised that the Death card isn't out here, to be completely honest. So that is a little surprising to me, Leo. So with this Moon card here, this is showing up as what to avoid. So I would say avoiding your own emotions or your feelings, whatever the heck it is. What I will also say, if you are feeling like, okay, that's dangerous, or that's like not safe, or that is like there's something about that maybe you're like, I just don't know how I feel about that, I really feel like that's like, then avoid that. You know what I'm saying? Usually the Moon card, I'm like, yeah, like you know, going into maybe something that is like a little bit confusing, or maybe you're like, you know, you have some fears attached to it. For some of you, that is true. It's like with all this, like, hey, show up and be confident, like be like who you are, that kind of stuff. You know, I do understand that. I swear to God, there might even be some imposter syndrome. And I also do understand like a backstory of like maybe having been like lied to, or again, like, you know, or going like non-contact with somebody, that kind of stuff. I understand that. Definitely understand like maybe a social anxiety piece or something. I'm not a doctor, but I'll tell you one thing. I got enough social anxiety that I know all about it. Okay, so there could be something like that. But I do feel like this is like maybe avoiding a particular emotion that maybe you're feeling like, I don't know how I feel about that. But again, it's like if something feels like not safe, or feels like I should not be doing that, then I feel like that's like, you know, listening to your intuition. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. Even if you're really fired up to do something, it's like making sure that you're still checking in with your intuition, that kind of energy. All right. Also, I want to say maybe there's something as simple as like, hey, doing something during the day as opposed to doing it at night. You know, that kind of thing. All right. So that's what I have for you guys, Leo. I hope this reading was helpful and made sense, all that kind of stuff. If not, you could check your other placements, and I'll see you guys back for your next one. Thank you. Bye.